Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Andy in Singapore. For today's video, we're going to do another review of the RZE watch, and this model here is called the Ascentus GMT. So the Ascentus GMT is a really new model. In fact, I'm holding on to its prototype, and this watch is still in the production stage. I think it will be rolled out to the buyers sometime later this year. I think there are some differences between this prototype and the production models, namely the date window here. So you can see from this watch that I'm holding on to, it has no date window. The production watches, they do have a date window and they have a matching date wheel as well. And before I continue with this video review, I'd like to take some time to thank the good people at RZE Watches for so kindly and generously loaning me their watches for video reviews. I do not profit from these videos, alright? I do not get any free watches or anything like that. I do have to return these watches upon filming. So as mentioned earlier in this video, the Ascentus GMT is in production and it goes for US dollars 549. So it's a GMT watch. You are getting the NH34 movement, and the newer craze these days is to use the NH34 to produce a line of budget, entry-level, attainable type of GMT, and the Ascentus GMT is definitely one of them. There are also 4 colors available, and I think my pick of the lot would be the one that has a mint green or azul blue, as well as this black sand version I'm getting in for review. So with the lens zoom in just a little bit, let me just run through with you on the specifications of this watch. It's got a case size of 40 millimeters. Even the bezel diameter here is right on 40 millimeters. The Ascentus GMT has a total thickness of 12.9 millimeters, and that's measuring from the base of the case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal, which has AR coating on the inside. Luck width here is 20 millimeters. You can definitely use your aftermarket straps, and again, this one here is going to be a strap monster because with the looks like this, you can put it on leather strap, rubber strap, and on any configuration, it's just going to look fantastic. And I think this is very consistent with all the RZE watches. They are designed for really good wearability. So L to L here is 46 millimeters. So for a 40 millimeters case size with a bezel and all that, you know, they've designed it such that it's got a really manageable and short L to L, 46 millimeters. This would suit, you know, any resize very well. So this watch here, when it came to me on loan for review, it has been resized by the previous reviewer. So, you know, the wrist size is more or less the same as mine, and size to my wrist of about 17 cm. This one here comes in at 97 grams, okay? Wow, okay? So with the bracelet unsized, I read that it will come in at around 110 grams, and this is very, very lightweight for a watch that is full metal on full bracelet, links unsized. I think this watch here really wears very well and wears very, very comfortably. So here are some more measurements not listed on RZE's website. It's got a crown size here of 6.8 millimeters. Alright, it offers really good grip. Alright, we've got these patterns here, good grip, and finally it's got a crystal size of 32.3 millimeters. So as you can see here, it's got a design such that the bezel here is relatively thin, thereby giving it a really big crystal size, and I think this one here really improves the overall legibility. While we're still on the specifications, let me just take some time to tell you more about the case material. So as with all RZE watches, this one here is an entirely titanium built watch. So from the case to the crown, to the bezel, to the bracelet, to the clasp, everything, all right, apart from the hands or the sapphire crystal, all these things are titanium, all right. And on top of that, this is also coated titanium. We're looking at this proprietary coating called the ULTRAHex coating, which offers stretch resistance to 1200 vickers, and that's about 4 to 5 times that of stainless steel. So definitely can wear this one without much fears of scratching it up badly as with all those polished surfaces. And for the Ascentus GMT, RZE has chosen the bead blasted finish to it. Okay, to be honest, I'm not a big fan. Okay, I prefer brush finishing on all my watches. Again, bead blasted finish, I think it sort of gives off that really dull look to it. I'm going to move on now and talk to you a little bit on the case design and the overall build quality of the Ascentus GMT. So this one here obviously looks different from the production model in the sense that it has no date wheel here. Mine is a prototype. The production model will have a matching date wheel. Again, that is a nice move. Okay, I always prefer matching date wheels or no date wheel at all. So again, in terms of design here, I can really see the effort that RZE has put in. So true to all the RZE watch designs, again, no curves or any sort. Everything here is faceted, angled, and overall I think this kind of styling, this kind of design definitely fits the adventure vibes. The design cues very well. And I'd like to bring your attention to this bracelet over here. Okay, so it is fully articulating or articulated. Every link here moves and bends and folds, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so some other watch reviewers on the internet, I think, they don't quite like this flex going on, okay, on the bracelet. But I think this flex has sort of made the bracelet very comfortable, because I'm just going to quickly show you on the wrist shot. Okay, so on my wrist, it fits really well, my 17 cm wrist, but you can also see that the bracelet here sort of conforms to my wrist very well. And it's only because it moves around quite a bit, all right? There's a bit of flex going on, all right? There's a bit of give and flex, and because of that, it conforms and fits my wrist very well. And I'm also liking this DLC coated bezel here. Okay, so there is no bezel insert. I would assume that this is entirely titanium, and then they went on to give it a DLC coating. So let's check out the bezel action here. Okay, the clicking feels a little bit hollow. I think this is largely due to the material used. Okay, so I think for titanium bezels, I think the clicking will sound a little bit hollow, but no issues at all. The action here is really good with minimal backplay. And now let's move on and talk a bit on the Ascentus GMT's dial design. So this one here, during the unboxing, I thought it gives me the Zin and Damasco vibes, okay, with this high contrast black and white type of stick markers and all that. So they're actually kind of a matchstick markers over here. We've got this little pops of mint green towards the hash markers. Alright, so there's no chapter ring. The minute markers are printed on the same plane as the dial, and again, these little bits of colors here, the mint green as well as the orange on the GMT hand sort of pops up, and I think it sort of adds some colors and fun to the overall black and white design. And let's have a look at the loom shot of the Ascentus GMT. As you can see, it lights up really well. We've got bi-colored loom here. The tip of the matchstick, or the secret bud, or whatever you want to call it, has a green loom, and the other parts of the watch we've got blue loom over here. I'm not quite sure what grade or what type of loom is used. It says Japanese super loom on the website. Alright, so overall I think the loom brightness here is very good. So let's do some size comparisons between the Ascentus GMT and some other watches I have. First up, let's compare it to its cousin, alright, in the same brand, RZE Valor 38. So as you can see, both watches are rather similar. One has a rotate bezel, 40mm case size, and the Valor 38 here has no rotate bezel, but they look pretty similar at a distance. Alright, so in terms of thickness, of course the GMT here does appear thicker, but not by much. Okay, so they've cleverly put in some beveling, or I don't know, taper, to sort of make the watch appear a little bit thinner, as opposed to the slab side over here that makes it look thicker. Okay, so again, all very clever design elements here shown by RZE. And next up, we have a comparison with the BB58, and woof, okay, the difference between the weight here is just, wow, it's night and day. Okay, so after handling all these titanium watches recently, going back to stainless steel watches on full bracelet, wow, it doesn't feel right. Okay, so we're looking at 98 grams versus about 145 grams, I think. Alright, so the difference here is crazy. Alright, so it's so comfortable to wear a titanium watch. Okay, so in summary, I would say the Ascentus GMT is a very good entry point to the world of affordable GMT watches with very good specifications. Alright, so for this watch we are looking at a really good design here, as well as good materials and good specifications. This one here has got a full titanium build, coated from the case to the bracelet to the clasp and whatever. So it is also very light, so comfortable to wear, coming in at under 100 grams when sized to my wrist. This one here wears like a dream. Okay, so I really need to emphasize this point, even though it sounds cliche. Okay, so it wears really well, very comfortable. You can see that there are no lug gaps or anything of the sort, and the watch seems to appear thinner than what it really is because of this one here sort of tapers into the mid case. And I think overall this is a really good design. So that was my review of the RZE Ascentus GMT. If you like this watch, if you like this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Come back here every week. I've got new videos uploaded for you all the time. This is Andy in Singapore, together with George, Pixie, and their friends. Bye bye.